1340 WJOL presents A Rich Conversation with Rich Renik. No politics, no controversy. Just the lively art of conversation about interesting people in our world. Here's Rich Renik.
As our day continues, remember that no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome to A Rich Conversation. I'm Rich Renik. And today, our conversation is going to be with a returning guest. That returning guest is responsible for these classic songs.
From the corners of the country, from the cities and the farms, with years and years of living tucked up underneath their arms, they walk away from everything just to see a dream come true. So God bless the boys who make the noise on 16th Avenue. Ooh, it's just making it easy or taking it easy with you. I've come a long, long way for a hillbilly girl with the blues. Black coffee, green envy, jealous of the way that you used to love me. Bad feeling, I'm losing you. 'Cause I love those crazy blue eyes. Crazy blue eyes.
Yeah, Lacy J. Dalton. Back again, and I knew, Lacy, I knew when we talked the first time we weren't going to have enough time to finish everything up, so welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Rich. I appreciate it very much.
We ran out of time because there was so much to talk about, and one of the things, of course, in the first program, we were focusing mainly on the classic songs, and many of which we just heard, but the theme of the songs were, at that time, more aligned with relationships and emotions. And now, when you reemerge with material today, rather than relationships and emotions, you're focusing on kindness, empathy, bringing people together. Lacy, the name of the project is For the Black Sheep, and the songs that you've put together on this album are really, again, powerful. Talk about what led to this project.
You know, Rich, I think this is a project that just in the evolution of your songwriting, you just have different phases. And in the first part of my career, I was always trying to sing songs that gave people strength and hope. I knew this isn't an easy world to live in. It's been called the Vale of Tears. I mean, there is so much trouble in the world, and in this world you will have trouble. That is for sure. But those troubles are a blessing. They are a blessing in disguise, because if we don't get strong spiritual challenges, we don't build strong spiritual muscles. And I think that's what we're here to do. I think this world is a school, and I think we're here to learn how to love. We're here to learn the secrets of the heart. And as we get older, it becomes even more poignant to be thinking about, when I wrote the songs for the Black Sheep, I was writing songs not just to my audience out there in the world, but I was also writing songs into my own spirit, saying, here are things at this point in your life, you need to look at these things. These things need to be pointed out. You need to pay attention to these things. And I really did do a lot of songs about relationships and love. And as I grew a little older, I wanted to do relationships more about myself and my own spirit and my own growth and other people's as well. But there's one song that we released, the first single, which was actually the third song I wrote for the project. It says, call me left wing, call me right. We are split right down the middle in this fight. But divided we fall. That rule don't change. It's just the devil by a different name, boys. The devil by a different name. And the second verse says, call me imam, call me priest. We are brothers separated by belief, but a loveless faith is a ball and chain. It's just the devil by a different name, boys. The devil by a different name. And then we talk about call me brown skin, call me white. Call me gay, boys, call me straight. Must we stare across this chasm filled with hate? If they say we're wrong and we should be ashamed, That's the devil by a different name.
Call me left wing, call me right. We are split right down the middle in this fight. Divided we fall, that rule don't change. It's just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name.
A lot of us call ourselves Christians, and even if we don't, there was some very good advice from that teacher. It said, love God with all your heart, mind, and spirit. Love your neighbor as yourself. And that is the whole of the law. And all the other laws of life are based upon it. And P.S., that is what I came to teach. Even if you're not a Christian, that is some very good advice. We're not doing that. We need not to judge. We need to learn more. We need to look deeper. We need to love. We are here in this place at this time to learn how to love, to learn the secrets of the heart. And that is what I address on the Songs for the Black Sheep. And it says this in the songs, we write songs about Texas. We write songs about mamas and our exes. We write all these kind of things, but it's God who writes the good ones. We just write them down.
And you have 11 of them on the album For the Black Sheep. Powerful album. How do you get the album? Right now, as an independent artist, you can listen to it on a lot of the streaming platforms, but how do we get more about the album For the Black Sheep?
If anyone would like to purchase it, you can purchase it from our website, lacyjdalton.org. And there's no E in Lacy. It's just Lacy, letter J, DALTON.org. You can get it there. You can get it from CD Baby. All the streaming sites have it now.
When these neon cities bring you down, heart of hearts, stay open. When you're lost and lonely in a crowd, heart of hearts, stay open. Remember this, when love goes wrong, honey, what don't kill you makes you strong. If you come to a time when you need to decide, friend, you might want to ask yourself first, am I standing knee deep in the river and dying of thirst? It's easy to take love for granted, get stuck in a rut unfulfilled, and sometimes it takes an earthquake to tear down these walls that we build. Call me brown skin, call me white. It's not the color of our skin that makes us right. When somebody tells you we're not the same, that's just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name. Everybody loves to hate. Everybody loves to hate. We know we should change, but it might be too late. 'Cause everybody loves to hate. Who never will forget you or forsake you. The one who's always calling for the black sheep. All the black sheep. All you black sheep. All us black sheep.
Now, we're going to switch gears here just a little bit now, Lacy. In between touring and making music and releasing a new album, you got some horses to take care of, right?
We do. Leslie, my manager, is here today with me, and she is the secretary-treasurer of a foundation that I co-founded a very long time ago. I think it probably we started it in about 1998. We hired a lawyer to do the paperwork for us. And after about 3 or 4 years, we started calling the IRS saying, where is our 501c3, our charitable thing, so we can take donations and be responsible and help these horses? And we found out that the lawyer that we'd hired kind of made a mess of the paperwork. But we had a wonderful IRS agent who put it on a fast track and got it for us. And I think it came of age in about 2003. And we've been, what we do at Let 'em Run, we don't keep money and let 'em run. I always keep a little bit of a slush fund in case, I think we keep about $3,000 in case. But in 2004, we started raising money for mom and pop groups who they do most of the rescuing, rehabilitating, and rehoming of wild horses. And they are responsible for many, 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 many horses not going to slaughter.
Now, when you talk about the mom and pop groups, Lacy, I saw that there are over 500 horse rescue and sanctuary organizations in the United States, and they have anywhere between 6,000 and 10,000 horses at any given time. So with the foundation, how do you determine who will be a recipient of some of the benefits of the foundation?
One of the ways that last year, we concentrate we have more horses in the state of Nevada than any place in the country. And so we pretty much say we're not restricted to staying in Nevada, but because we have so much need here, we pretty much stay within the confines of the state of Nevada, but are not restricted to doing that. We check them out. We say, please tell us how many horses you have rescued this year, how many horses have you rehabilitated, how many horses have you rehomed? And you would be surprised because it is the little mom and pop groups that do hundreds of these horses, in many cases very much more than the big organizations do. Big organizations spend a lot of their money that you send in, and rightfully so, and thank God, to legislate for protections for the horses, because though the horses were protected, the American people said in 1971 that the horse should be the protected animal, the foremost protected animal. We have a friend, his name is Frank Smith, and he said, I don't know why we don't take some of the public lands that are in Wyoming or Montana close to Yellowstone Park and do an incredible horse sanctuary and interpretive center and museum and do a birth control program on this big sanctuary and have thousands of these horses where people can go out and actually, when they're visiting Yellowstone Park, can actually go and see the horses, can go and take a trail ride or a jeep safari or a photographic safari or a hike and be shown the native plants and all the wonders of those places, because it is so beautiful in Wyoming and Montana. It would provide a lot of jobs for people. It would provide another eco-tourism destination for people, which the ecotourism is the very best kind of tourism, because these are not the people who leave garbage on the ground. These are people who are going to appreciate the beauties and the wonders of nature. And the horses are a wonderful thing. And people from all over the world, where I live up in the mountains above Reno, Nevada, we have wild free-roaming horses all over the place. And they are a danger because they get on the road. It is amazing. You watch a tour bus going up to the old town of Virginia City, screech over to the side of the road, and all these tourists pour out of the bus, and they're taking pictures, and they're from everywhere in the world, and just taking pictures of our wild horses. People are fascinated by them, and they should be. We built our civilization on the bones of the horse. We owe them the right to live. I think I read a quote that in Arizona, down on the Navajo reservation, or New Mexico, they have 20,000 horses, which is not something that they really, it's just something that's gotten out of control. And a lot of the horses that in the northern tribes in Washington and Oregon, they will allow people to round the horses up and take them to slaughter. And that is something that we really wish were not happening, because the slaughter in other countries, a lot of them go to Mexico now, and it's inhumane, and it's an abomination. So what we try to do is you save as many of them as we can. We get a lot of babies from a lot of the native people. We are able to place those fairly easily. We get a lot of adult horses. And let me just tell you that right now, because hay is so expensive, it's very expensive to buy food for horses and veterinary care now, that a lot of people are letting their horses go to auction. And they think that that means someone else will buy them. What that really means is they will probably be bought by a meat buyer. and they will end up in Mexico probably, or offshore in butchering ships to be sent as food to other countries. I don't approve of this. We build our civilization on the backs of these horses. They carried us. They helped us all through man's history. They are special. The Christian people believe that Jesus is coming back on a horse. Well, that must mean he likes them. I don't know why, but I'm really moved telling you this right now.
I understand.
I know that the Bureau of Land Management is wanting to round up 4,000 wild horses in Wyoming.
You're listening to A Rich Conversation. No politics, no controversy, just the lively art of conversation. I'm Rich Renik, and my guest for the second time around, repeat guest, Lacy J. Dalton.
It's always been my plan, and we've almost had it happen a couple of times, to have an enormous wild horse interpretive center, which is also already on horse management area that BLM has. We almost had a partnership about 20 years ago with the Bureau of Land Management to put horses out on the Pine Nut area and to build a wild horse museum and gift store and an interpretive center to show the history of the horse, because the horse has been here in this country since the Pleistocene. I had a wild horse museum for 8 years up in Virginia City in a train car. And in that museum, I had a picture of the bones of the modern day horse here in the Great Basin. And they died out, horses died out, probably in the great mammal die out, or they might have been eaten. They might have been consumed by the native peoples in harder times. But they appear to have died out for a while, although the Lakota say, we have always had the horse. We have always had the horse. And it makes me wonder, because after the Indian Wars, hundreds and hundreds of the Lakota horses were shot because the government did not want the Indians to be able to fight. That's why they shot all the buffalo. We were told, I remember in high school, well, the white man was greedy and he wanted the skins. No, that isn't. He probably did want the skins, and he is greedy. But he also wanted to starve the Indians so that they could not resist anymore. And that is how we came by our great country here. And I'm very happy to see that a lot of people in this day and age are seeing that and going, there should be some reparation, and there are talks, and that is happening. And I think that's a good thing, because we owe, and we can learn so much too from Indian peoples make decisions about the land unto the seventh generation. We need to learn that. The horses could earn their own place. They deserve it in any case. It could actually be an incredible way to preserve the wild horses for our children and our grandchildren forever. I have to say, I am a proponent of birth control. Nobody likes this. It's not the best thing, but if we're going to ever have any of these horses left for our children and our children's children, we need to be sensible. We need to have a place for them where they're safe. We need to have a place for them where people can enjoy them in a non-invasive way. That's what we need to do.
And how do we learn a little bit more about this effort?
Yeah, it's called the Let 'em Run Foundation, which is a terrible name. I wrote a song for one of the horse organizations out here to sell. We actually put together a CD, and all the money, everybody donated everything on the CD, and all the money goes to the horses that we make from that.
Up in Story County, where the wild ponies run, gold was mine that fueled the Civil War. There's a fierce but friendly people, and if you ask them 2A1, they'll tell you there's still a lot of things worth fighting for. Up in Story County, the Mustang still runs free. Eagle soars above the pinyon pines, and we know these horses stand for something that is precious and more rare than all the silver and the gold from them old mines. So let 'em run, let them run, let them wild ponies run. Don't you brand them, don't you break them. Don't you let the killers take a single one. Let them run. Scar the earth from sun to rising sun. There's still a few proud places left where they let the wild things run. Let them run. Up in Story County, in the high Nevada hills, freedom rides the wayward western wind. Mustang is a symbol with its wild and fiery will of the way the West will never be again. So let them run. Let them run. Let them wild ponies run. Don't you brand them, don't you break them. Don't you let the killers take a single one. Let them run. Wild ponies run. Don't you brand them, don't you break them. Don't you let the killers take a single one. Let them run.
I'm thinking I'd like to do another project like that, but I don't know if it'll ever be as magic because every single artist who did it with me gave up their publishing, the rights to their songs. They can, anybody can do anything with those songs they want. And that music has been on A&E, the Company of Horses. It's been on Animal Planet. And we've just let the music be out in the world doing the best thing we can for horses everywhere. But we called the foundation the Let 'Em Run Foundation, and it's so funny because people will call me and say, "Are you with the Let It Run Foundation?" Because and I always think that sounds like somebody let the toilet run. But it's Let 'Em Run, Let 'Em Run, let them wild ponies run.
And the fact that your friends participated and volunteered and gave up so much, I think, speaks to the statement that Chris Christopherson said once again: "The heart is all that matters in the end."
What a great song that is. And thank you for bringing it up. And thank you for bringing up Christopherson. We have lost a truly great poet and great artist. I have listened to Chris's entire catalog. There's healing in his songs.
Yeah.
There's healing and there's awakening and there's enlivening thoughts in his songs. His songs have changed my life twice, completely changed my life. The Heart was one of them. The Heart, I think, was probably right around 3.5 minutes. It's not that long a song, but boy, it sure has impact. And it did change my life. I needed an attitude adjustment the first time I heard that song, and it absolutely gave me one. And when I introduce the song in my shows, I say, if this song does for anybody in my audience what it did for me the first time I ever heard it, then I will have done my job on this stage.
Daddy was a charmer, boys, he had a lot of style. He was a shining best at everything he did. They said that he could lighten up a room with just a smile. I was proud as hell to be his kid. Seemed like just as we were growing close together, he was gone. But it was long enough to show what I could be. And I sometimes feel his spirit fill my body like a song. This is what my daddy sings to me. if they deal you down and dirty in a way you don't deserve. You feel better if you take it like a man. If you let them drive you crazy, boy, they'll shut your business down. Shake it off and get your licks in when you can. 'Cause the heart is all that matters in the end.
They say that every song is sweeter when you're singing from the heart. I won't knock it 'cause I've tried it and it's true. And I may never get to heaven, but I've seen a lot of stars. And I'm here to bring the same advice to you. So if they deal you down and dirty in a way you don't deserve, you'll feel better if you take it like a man or a woman. If you let them drive you crazy, boys, they'll shut your business down. Shake it off and get your licks in when you can. 'Cause the heart is all that matters in the end. The heart is all that matters in the end.
Rich, thank you so much. You have been so wonderful. You know, your research and, you know, the care that you've put into this, I can't thank you enough. I know you're busy, and I so appreciate the homework that you've done to make this thing be what it is, and I hope your listeners enjoy it, and I'm very grateful to you for it.
I loved every minute of it. It's hard to describe that for all the time that I'm sitting here talking to you, I got a smile on my face because you're so passionate about what it is you do. So I can't thank you enough for everything and your contributions to what you're doing how with the horses and to your contributions to American music through the Country Channel, and I can't thank you enough. Once again, Lacy J. Dalton, thank you for being here, and continued success in the project for the Black Sheep. Check it out.
Thank you, Rich. It's been a great pleasure to me and an honor to speak with you, and thanks so much for your time.
Please mark your calendar for 1 week from today for another rich conversation. No politics, no controversy, just the lively art of conversation. I'm Rich Renik, and thank you for making us a part of your day.
Good